Hello, my name is Dr. Wayne Johnson, and today we're going to talk about suffering and how we, all as humans, elementally suffer in life. I believe there's three components to suffering, and this is the only way you're going to suffer in what you're doing, feeling, and thinking. And those three components are your physical suffering. We're all going to break bones. There's going to be illness and injury that happens to us in life, no matter what. We're going to experience emotional suffering because we are aware of our feelings. And when your heart's broken or your feelings are hurt, I guarantee you're going to suffer. And that's going to happen no matter what you do in life. And finally, what I consider spiritual suffering. I believe that our awareness of thoughts, the gift that we have to store knowledge in our subconscious mind, allows us to have access to that knowledge anytime, so we can store that knowledge to plan our future. But knowledge can be quite dangerous, as we were warned about 8,000 years ago. I'll give you an example of spiritual suffering in thought. My father came out of a heart surgery 3 years ago, and he came out on a heart-lung bypass machine. And I'm a physician, and I understood at that point in time that my father came out on this heart-lung bypass machine, which didn't exist 50 years ago, and I had an understanding that that meant my father's life was likely to be over. The surgery failed. And I had 8 family members back in Connecticut who didn't have that knowledge. And I wanted to find a way to articulate what I had known to them. So you can suffer in life physically, injury, illness. You can suffer emotionally. Your heart's going to be broken, your feelings are going to be hurt. And you can suffer spiritually in your awareness of thought or knowledge and the complexity of what that creates. Well, if you know that you're going to suffer only one of 3 ways, physically, emotionally, or spiritually in life, wouldn't it be wise to minimize the suffering that you create for yourself? Well, let me tell you how to do that. So physically, if you want to minimize your physical suffering in life, make sure that you rest, nourish, and challenge your body. You sleep well, eat well, and get some exercise in. No matter what happens, if you're injured or you have illness and you've done those 3 things, you're doing everything you can do to minimize the suffering that physical component takes upon you in life. If you want to avoid emotional suffering, we're all going to have our heart broken. Our feelings are going to be hurt at some time. Well, I can tell you this. If you love yourself, your friends and family, and society appropriately, think about it. When you love yourself appropriately and your heart is broken, let's say someone breaks up with you, and you have the ability within yourself to feel positive and optimistic and confident and secure and motivated and courageous and deliberate and persevering, well, at least you know at that point that you're worthy of giving and receiving love to somebody else. If you don't feel that way about yourself, not loving yourself, I guarantee you're going to suffer significantly more. If you're good to your friends and family, being considerate, understanding, and patient and kind, and good to society, empathetic and altruistic and compassionate, if you are good to your friends and family and society, when your heart is broken or your feelings are hurt, which you know you're going to experience that suffering that goes into feeling at some point during your life, when that happens, at least there'll be other people there who you've loved appropriately who love you, and they'll come to your rescue and help you. And finally, the suffering that goes into our spiritual understandings or our awareness of thought in life. If you want to avoid the spiritual suffering in life, I can tell you this. You're going to have to access some guidance to help you make decisions in life in order not to be distracted by those painful thoughts. The thoughts that go into suffering, the knowledge that I had from my father, and when he came out of that surgery on a heart-lung bypass machine, I had to access some other type of knowledge, and that guidance was available to me. It was built within me. And that guidance said to me, Wayne, be persevering and honest, and be courageous, and be considerate and understanding and patient, and be kind, and be empathetic, and be compassionate to your family. And I was able to take that guidance, having faith in it, and use it to help articulate to my family what had happened. And not only was I able to minimize my suffering, I was able to minimize their suffering as well, using that knowledge that was built in. That knowledge is the guidance that's built into us, and we have to have faith in it. And the way that we develop that faith is to spend some time acknowledging it. So if you want to avoid the physical suffering you know that's inevitable in life, rest, nourish, and challenge your body. If you want to avoid the emotional suffering in your life, love yourself, your friends and family, and society. And if you want to avoid the spiritual suffering in life that goes into your awareness of thought, acknowledge the guidance that's available to you and have faith in it. That's all I got.